Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Big Blue Offensive Podcast with Mike Trainer, Jay Jules, and John Depot. Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy New Year. Welcome to the BBO NYG podcast. I'm Mike. That's Jules. That's Sean. Not really a happy New Year for me. I lost in fantasy football to the football genius, Conrad, in the Midland Fantasy Championship. I had my team. I was starting every week consistently. I tried to be slick because I heard CJ Stroud was back. So I'm like, oh, let me start Noah Brown. He's going to get all the targets. The very first play of the game, he caught an eight-yard pass. I was thrilled. I was like, oh, he's going to have a monster game. All of a sudden, he's fucking holding his hip after the catch. Then he was out the rest of the fucking game. I was like, motherfucker, that's what I get for switching out a guy. Otherwise, my team was just nasty the whole fucking year. But that's what happens. Once you go in the playoffs, like anything stupid happens. And that's like typical NFL shit. That's why I'm going to give you guys a little bit of advice right now. I'm going to bet the Cleveland Browns as the divisional winner in the AFC. And I might even bet them for the Super Bowl right now. Right now for division, the AFC is 1,400, plus 1,400. And to win the Super Bowl is plus 3,500. That's my little sleeper right there. They got a good D. Wacko Flacco's back. So who knows, man? Let's throw a little money.
They're 35 to 1
for Super Bowl right now, plus 3,500. Yeah, for every $100 bet.
I forgot what I got the Rams at. I got the Rams at like a ridiculous one.
That's a good one to come out. The NFC. NFC, that's not a bad.
The NFC.
Imagine that Super Bowl, Rams in Cleveland. Ugh.
Oh God.
What happened to Deshaun Watson?
He went to another massage place in like week 8, and then they just fucking threw the book at him. Poor guy. I felt bad for him. All he was just asking for a happy ending. You know what I mean? No, I think shoulder surgery or something. Like his shoulder was banged up again.
Oh, he's hurt. Okay.
Yeah, he got hurt like 3 fucking times this year, man. And then finally went on the shelf.
He must have been yelling in that room. See, the massages fucking work.
That's how he hurt his shoulders. Like, I mean, at least they could have done is like work his shoulder a little bit. Instead, they just worked another fucking part of his body too much.
Browns could have invested in a chastity belt, just fucking put a little lock and key on the schlong and fucking let him get a massage.
Well, you know what, Mike? I agree with you with fantasy football. Fuck that lucky bullshit. All right. In the pizza league, I had a similar situation. Best team, fucking 2 out of the last 3 years. Literally, I thought I had it. I was winning all fucking weekend long. Yep. And fucking Najee Harris decided to score 2 touchdowns. George Pickens decided to have a monster game. Like, fucking out of here.
I know.
Bullshit, bro.
Well, I
ended up losing by like 4 or 5 points.
Ooh, when it gets Lamar Jackson, I mean, he come on.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? That's bullshit. Yeah, it's fucking.
Can I ask you guys a question that's on topic but off topic?
Sure.
Go for it.
So I've only done fantasy once, and I think I was in 8th grade when I did it. So I'm not very versed in fantasy, but from what I understand, obviously the winner gets the spoils, but the loser usually has a punishment. And I read this article. It was like a list of like 15 most creative like punishments for losing fantasy football in either leagues together or just what is the funniest losers punishment that you've come across in your 20 years playing fantasy?
We haven't done anything like that. Usually, John, it's the very last place guy in the league, not the loser in the playoffs or anything like that. The very last place guy. So it's like
the last place guy. Like I saw people like they shoot paintballs at him. I saw fucking one of them where they made him join like an adult sports league of a sport that they don't play, like curling or something like that. And
something like
that. Full season.
Well, if you look on our YouTube channel, I had to do a press conference. That's the first time this year. If you lose by 40 points or more in the week, you have to do a press conference about like the squad you're playing and all that bullshit. So you know what I mean? It's like that's pretty all right. But
I mean, I've never done anything embarrassing. I've also been in the league for like the last 12 years or so, where we risk additional money against each other each week.
That's good.
So if you're the loser, there's a very good chance you lost a decent amount of money.
I like that.
Like, guys have to pay whatever. And all of a sudden, thankfully this year I didn't have the greatest year, but I only owe like $180. But there's been years I've seen like that guys owe like $600-700. That's a good kick in the ass for being a loser.
You have to pay
Yeah.
right away that week, right? Or
Yeah, well, or at least by like like the end, like in the next week or two for sure. You know what I mean?
okay.
Just because, like, it is a little bit of a shocker, right? But you had like basically the whole playoffs to kind of
Right.
realize where you were at. You know what I mean? And then, all right, Christmas, whatever, New Year's, okay, maybe next week. Yeah, that's kind of when it's due.
Hey, listen, shit happens. I came in second points. I'm waiting for my money. I don't know who's gonna fucking pay me, but it's coming, right? It's fucking
Yeah, it's
coming.
coming through Venmo, I guess.
I found the article. Just this one fucking made me laugh. It says that the loser has to do a live stream on whatever whatchamacallit they choose, but it's got to be a 24-hour live stream and you can never leave frame. So
Oh
if you
my
got to go take a
God,
piss,
dude.
you got to take a shit, you got to bring the phone with a laptop with you to the bathroom. You can't leave frame for 24 hours. That's fucking great.
I seen one where like a guy had to go to dinner by himself, but with a teddy bear. So the teddy bear was sitting across from him.
Sex doll, bro. A blow up doll.
That could be it too.
That
could be it
listen,
too.
if you guys do this next year, I'm not going to play fantasy, but I will fund the sex doll for the loser of your fantasy league.
Hey,
I got one.
We can easily do that at Midland.
Oh, Mike, you have
that's
one,
the
right?
league to do it
Yeah.
for.
You all heard the story. I got one. It's still in my closet, unused.
God damn, I want to fall into a coma right now for a year.
Never fucking used. Okay, but I have one.
Fight
So,
$6 back.
Dude, it's crazy. It's fucking heavy too. You would need two people to fucking carry that out to my car. Can you imagine if I call somebody over to get that out of my house? We would have to wrap it up in a rug like it's a fucking dead body. So I don't want my neighbors looking that I got a sex doll fucking coming out of my house.
So for some reason, that's worse than rolling up a dead body.
It is. Imagine the cops stop me. Imagine the neighbors call and the cops come, and forget about it. I'll be on Channel 12 News.
But listen, we could just dress it up with some nice clothes, and then we're walking around like, oh, see, I had a little too much to drink. We're gonna take it home.
You gotta like feed her a little bit of spaghetti. Do the fucking Lady the Tramp thing with it.
I've tried all that. It didn't work.
I think we should maybe do something like that, like a live feed where you have to go out on a date with it.
And just take her around town.
If I didn't know that I would automatically lose because I don't play fantasy ever, I would fucking join the league just to be part of this fucking thing.
Yeah, but like you're the guys that end up winning nowadays. It's ridiculous.
I know.
You can know everything and anything and still fucking end up losing. It's ridiculous how this shit works.
That's how it works. The dummies win it.
I look at the teams that won with some of the players they had on there, and it was just like, yeah, these guys were going like the Swifts and all the nonsense. Even Lamar Jackson was barely a fucking top 5 quarterback this year for fantasy. Like, come on, man.
The last 2 weeks in the fucking playoffs.
He was a fucking absolute animal, fucking lighting it up, winning the MVP probably, all that good stuff. Jesus.
So you guys want to talk a little Giants? My dog just threw up. I got to clean it. So please talk a little Giants. I heard there was good news today.
Yeah, I got good news. In a season that really only saw a couple of bright spots, we have another ghetto goon. Mike, I know you can still hear me. Another ghetto goon going to the Pro Bowl, and our man, sexy Dexter Lawrence. So yeah, man, congrats to Dexter Lawrence. That's now his second or third Pro Bowl. I think it's the second Pro Bowl. And he deserves it, man. He's a fucking great player, bro. Every single time an offense lines up against them, they know that they got to deal with a fucking rhinoceros. And I couldn't be happier that he's on our team. He's not going nowhere for a handful of years.
No, and listen, that's part of the reason why we traded Leonard Williams, because we knew we had Dex, right? Like, he's the guy there. It's his defensive line, at least on the interior side of things. And that's it, man. And congratulations to him. Hats off. And you know what? In a down season, it's those little things that you look at that kind of bring it back, I mean, it's crazy. I don't know about you, John or Mike, but to me, this year, 2023, absolutely flew by, man. Like, I feel like we were literally having this conversation about, getting ready for the playoffs and, all this kind of shit. We weren't even concerned about Pro Bowl. I feel like that shit was just a couple of months ago. You know what I mean? Like, dude, this year fucking flew by, man. I remember like just the longest period being kind of like between April and July when football would actually start. And even that, we were counting it down 120 days to the fucking this. And,
the countdown going.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit felt like it was a couple weeks ago, man. Like, that's almost a year now. Like, we have to start the clock back up soon.
It's crazy. Super Bowl, and then all of a sudden you getting ready for the spring and it's fucking softball season already. Yeah. But
You
yeah, I'll
know?
get back to the whole Dexter Lawrence thing. I read on Twitter, I was scrolling through as Chad Powers does at BBO NYG podcast. If you want to follow him. He was scrolling and he's seen some dummies on there saying how no Giant is untradeable. They would trade Dexter Lawrence for the next number one pick. I'm like, sometimes I think they're crack babies. I really do. Like, there's something the matter with them.
Wait, a Giants fan started that? I thought those were
Yeah.
Bear fans that were tweeting out that nonsense.
There was some apparent quote unquote Giant fans out there. They said they would trade him. Like, nobody's untouchable. Like, what are you, a moron? I swear these people are fucking
Wow.
stupid.
For an unproven, I mean, I did see a funny one. Today. It was where would Daniel Jones go in this year's draft? And I'm like, that's the dumbest question that anyone could ever even answer correctly. It's like, first of all, the guy's been in the NFL for 5 years, all right? So what, I was supposed to think about how he played his senior year 6 fucking seasons ago? Like, give me a fucking
stupid.
break, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's just pure fucking nonsense and like kind of hate that
Yeah,
you get from these fucking people at times. It's hilarious.
They're fucking dummies. But what about the game the other day, huh? It was a good game to watch, the Giants and Rams.
Yeah, it
Actually,
was,
very
man.
fun.
Giants covered the spread, right? I mean, it was
this whole weekend was full of good games, both professional and college. There was a lot of fucking football on this past weekend, especially especially on Sunday and Monday, man. That was it really cleaned house with some of these games. And yeah, the Giants, look, dude, if Tyrod Taylor didn't throw to people's fucking ankles, they probably win that game. And then we'd have to listen to everybody cry. Oh my God.
I could have shoveled past that pass to Barkley, Jules. I could have fucking went like this underhand, like an underhand pass.
Flick that fucking thing, bro. He could have done it with his opposite hand and just kind of fucking flipped it in the air and it would have fucking landed to him. Like, what are you doing, dude? Like,
Very frustrated. I know a lot of people wanted them to lose, but I didn't. I was rooting for the game. That day, the defense made Stafford look like, an idiot. You know what I mean? I tell you, man, it really sucks about the injuries this year. We really had to get screwed on the offensive side of the ball because the way the defense has been playing, balling out. I mean, god damn, really sucks. Yeah,
that's the thing, though, Mike. Right? Like, you want to see these teams win because if you go into what the Jets are doing, where you just start losing, or Washington, right? Where you just start losing. Yeah, you start up the game, you start the season, say 1-2, let's say next year. You're in that losing mentality. You haven't broken it. You don't know if your team has gotten better or can go out there and compete. You're like, because you're just used to fucking losing. At least these Giants are competing. And the thing that kills me the most is these same fucking idiots that are out there crying about, oh my God, the Giants, they're going to lose draft picks and this and that. Da, 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 da. If you look at what the Cardinals did, those same fans would be going ape shit because the Cardinals beat the Eagles. And it's like, wait, so it's only your team that's supposed to tank. But these other teams, when they go out and do it, they didn't fuck up or do anything stupid because they beat the Eagles, right?
Exactly right.
It's such nonsense, dude. Like, that's why I can't even play into that anymore. I just can't.
That's why they tell people at any given Sunday. That's what football is. It's about. If you really suck, you're terrible. You're gonna get the number one pick. But to be that bad, you know what I mean? You would have to be like Carolina. We're not Carolina. You know what I'm saying? Like, count your blessings that we're not that fucking team. That we actually have talent, or at least on the side of the ball, like besides the injuries. But what are you gonna do, man? It was a good game. Now we're on to the Eagles, and the Eagles they might rest guys. So maybe we sneak out and win.
No, I think no way. I think the Eagles are gonna go full go, dude. Because
you think so?
Simply because, dude. They let's say Dallas somehow loses to Washington, right? And then the Eagles beat the Giants. The Eagles get the number 2 seed and the division. It like dramatically changes like that. So yeah, no, I think the Eagles have to. Unfortunately, they put themselves in a position where they have to go all out against the Giants.
Now, what time's that game, Jules? Is that the Dallas game at 1:00? I know we're at 4. So if Dallas,
so it might be, yeah.
So that could be it where they have nothing to play for. Like, there's a couple teams they got nothing to play for. That's going to rest.
Usually, the NFL does. Yeah, well, we're playing at 4:25, and the Cowboys are playing at 4:25.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so they did.
So they keep it saying. The reason why all the last week of the season is always just whatchamacallit, always just divisional games is to whatchamacallit, eliminate any kind of competitive advantage. Like what you're saying, where if Eagles will all of a sudden get like a mini bye just right at the last second because the Cowboys won. or lost or whatever the story is.
And I think that's part of the reason why they flexed
They
the
keep the same
Miami
times.
Bills game, because I don't know if they were supposed to be at 8 o'clock, and because things worked out differently, they flipped them because I think they were a 4:25 game initially, and that's for that exact reason. But
that's what they've been doing. That's what they've been doing. Any playoff like type things, they reschedule the game. That's why they keep all the games open. And then that's why you have now like half the games at 1 and half the games at 4. So you get 6 games at 1, 6 games at 4, which is cool.
Yeah, that's why in baseball, game 162 is always at 3:25 Eastern time across the country. Every single team plays at the exact same time.
And that's what kills me here. How can you be a Giants fan and not want to fuck the Eagles over this week coming? You'd rather sit there and pray that Washington somehow beats fucking Dallas, New England beats the Jets, or vice versa. Yeah, New England beats the Jets. Arizona goes out and beats whoever the fuck they're playing. Like, why would you want to root for that? But instead, a team that you absolutely despise beats you every fucking year. You could finish the season fucking them over and knocking them out of that number 2 seed. How do you plus call yourself a Giants fan if you ain't rooting for that this coming weekend? I know the fuck I am, but I just don't know if it's gonna happen. But I'm definitely rooting for that shit.
Well, this is the thing, bro. When you're used to having a cock in your ass, you're used to having a cock in your ass.
I guess that's
what I mean?
What it is,
that's
man.
what it comes down to.
We're talking about fake fans.
For them, they used to full 7 or 8 inches. Us losing to the Eagles is having a 4-inch. They're like, I don't mind a 4-inch cock on my ass. That's just something.
Doesn't feel like anything.
Just what it is.
It's like a little prick.
And listen, just on a quick side note, just because I know all the quarterback hype and everything, all the talk, I'm looking forward to this Michigan-Washington game. For the national championship. I'm rooting hard for Washington, man. I'll tell you, that kid Penix is growing on me every day, man. He looks better and better. Right now, I don't quite see him as a first-round pick, but, they do go quarterback crazy at times. But I'll tell you the truth, if that dude's sitting around there in round 2 and the Giants didn't go quarterback, I would consider it. I'm really going to be really surprised to see what he does this coming Monday, because Michigan's got a pretty damn good fucking defense. So if he could throw for 300-400 yards like he did against Texas, this kid might fucking vault himself into some serious consideration. Maybe. I know he's got injury history, and I know he's left-handed. I know all that other nonsense.
How is his team?
Huh?
We always make the argument on here about, sometimes the quarterback's team is a lot of the reason why they get drafted so high. And that's always been my thing with, these, top of the first round quarterbacks, the first overall pick, second overall pick, that they bust because they're always coming from these teams that are just juggernauts. So they're, okay, for college, they're good. And then the car they're driving is a fucking Bugatti. And then the other guy is also good, but he's driving a fucking Camry in comparison. Like, it doesn't matter how good of a driver is. You could be Mariano Andretti, and then you could be my dead grandmother. And if one's in a fucking Lamborghini and one's in a Pinto, it doesn't matter who's who. The Lamborghini's winning. That's just what it is. So, how is his team? Like, is it?
Hey, listen. Once you get to this point in the season and you're playing for the national title, you're playing on the team regardless. Do I think he has as many weapons as maybe Daniels does in LSU? Definitely not.
Well, that's what I mean. You got those legacy teams.
You got that kid Rome. He's got the kid Rome, the wide receiver Rome, who's projected to be maybe number 3 and number 4 off the board as far as wide receivers go. So he does have a top guy there. But if you look at, like, say, Daniels, who they're saying might be better than him, Daniels has 2 guys that arguably are top 10 wide receivers off the board for their position. So, that's where that comes into a really good play. Yeah. But, like, look, there's been guys that have receivers. It happens too.
So my question, I guess, would be this. I don't really follow college football really at all, but there's the legacies of the Ohio States, Georgias, fucking Michigan and whatever team. But I never hear Washington. Like, that's LSU. Like, I never hear Washington, like, in that same ilk. So to me, that means that something's different this year, that they've gotten this far. And it's obviously the players.
Yeah, I mean, they had a couple seasons, maybe about 6 years ago. They were really good. Then they dropped a little, and they've been kind of up and down a little. But they've been hanging around that spot for the Pac-12.
It was like that, John. They kept getting better. They kept building a nice program. You know what I mean? So that's
Yeah.
And now they're recruiting in that that region of the country, I guess, and they're getting some ballers up there. But like I said, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. I mean, look, Penn should go and he could shit the bed next Monday night. Michigan could stomp them, and and that's the end of that talk, right? Or he could do what he did against Texas, which I wouldn't be surprised, man. I'm telling you, everybody's been sleeping on that Washington team. That's a sneaky pick for me. I went in on them hard on fucking Monday night against
What's
Texas.
the mascot?
Huh?
Washington's mascot?
The Huskies.
Really? There's two Huskies?
Yeah. There's some repeats. There's definitely repeats.
There's a lot of repeats. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing when you have one team on the East Coast that was predominantly a basketball team, a West Coast team could take that same mascot on a football team. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those kind of things.
There's 1,000 things you could name a team. You're gonna go fucking copy somebody else somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't even like that the Giants fucking have to share a name with the Giants. And the only reason why I never say anything about it is because we did take the name from the fucking baseball team, so we had no leg to stand on. But I hate that there's a second Giants. There's only one Yankees, motherfucker. You said that shit anywhere in the world, they know it's true. They know exactly what you're talking about.
Damn straight there is.
There'll be no other Yankees.
That's it, bro.
Unless some cancel culture people like, you know what the Yankees did back in the fucking 1800s? You get those motherfuckers that try to get you. I don't even know if that's true.
No. A handful of years ago, when they were
it's like more of a north-south thing, and it's like more of a southerner insulting a northerner, basically.
Exactly, bro. That's exactly right. It's derogatory for a northerner. Yeah. So there was a thing when the Commanders changed when the fucking Redskins changed their name, and they were doing all that with the Braves the Cleveland Indians changed to the Cleveland Guardians, like that whole era. They were talking about the Yankees on that list as well. They were also talking about the Giants, but in a jestful way, saying like, "Oh, well, there's midgets, so you can't have Giants." It's just hysterical.
That's what our friend says
all the time.
Yeah,
all the time.
It's funny, but with the Yankees, it was a real thing. Like it was an actual thing because it was a derogatory word for Northerners. I don't know how. If you say the Knicks' full name, it's kind of ridiculous. They're allowed to say it.
The Knickerbocker?
Bleep. So
how is that not on a listing there, bro?
It's pants. They were pants.
I was thinking
of pants from like the old 1800s or some craziness.
Yes,
they wore Knickerbocker pants.
So was the Cleveland Indians. That team's been around for decades. And the Washington Redskins are almost as old as the Giants. They've been around for 100 years.
Listen, they changed my high school. My high school's mascot used to be an Indian. Now I think they're a fucking shark or something.
Mine was the Braves, and it was like the fucking spearhead and shit like that. I never heard that there was even a conversation about them ever changing the name in my town. I don't live in the town anymore.
They did ours in a different way. They killed the program a little bit and then changed the name of the school for like a hot 2 years and then changed it back. So when they changed it back, they just kept the new mascot. That was the way they kind of danced around the idea. And I was like,
that's a good idea.
I didn't even know there were real life Indians that's still living in the world. I just thought that was like folklore shit from back in the day. Anyway,
what are you talking about, bro? You go up to Connecticut, the Foxwoods of Mohegan. What do you think that is?
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't even realize. Like, all right, great, they have casinos. It's fucking awesome. But anyway, can you imagine like the Giants, right? If they got like try to get canceled, can you imagine like a couple thousand midgets just show up to MetLife? Like protesting with like little signs and shit, like that'll be hilarious. Like you can't take them seriously. No offense to the midgets out there listening, but that's hilarious.
It's not the New York midgets, it's the New York Giants. It's a mythological creature that may or may not have existed. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like saying unicorns are bad.
Yeah, if you're sure, you're sure.
What, horses should get mad?
If you don't have a horn, you're not real.
All of a sudden, this guy gets a thing grows out of his head and fucking he's all popular. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, listen, I hope you enjoyed all that talk. It's fucking craziness of mythological creatures.
Hey, I think that talk is definitely better than fucking going back and forth and talking about a draft that's now for another 4.5 fucking months. You know what I'm saying?
Reach time. We got plenty of time. We got a few weeks left. We got some picks we got to do.
Doing all the mock drafts and shit. Some of them I even see Malik Williams fall into to the fifth pick anyway. So it's like, whatever.
If I see another mock draft come on my Twitter time, I'm like, guys, you got way too much time on your hands.
Yeah,
stop.
I mean, there's people who do mock drafts already.
It's crazy.
Oh yeah, on the timeline, hell yeah, dude. That's what I'm trying to say, bro. It's insane.
And they show it off like, look what I did. We're gonna get him at number 5, and this guy in round 2. I'm like,
I traded up, and I got Khalid. Oh my God, Caleb, and blah 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 blah.
Who you traded with? AI? You traded with AI, you weirdo?
Exactly.
I can't even imagine, dude. As somebody who spends probably like
I've seen it too many times already, to be honest with you.
Way too many.
Too many times.
I shouldn't really have much to say as somebody who's, next month turning 37, and I still probably spend a part-time job's worth of time a week playing video games. So I shouldn't talk too much, but doing mock drafts in season or even during the playoffs, like
while your team is playing.
I mean, come on.
Like, what the fuck? I play video games.
Not even just like do it and just like, I'll just fuck around. I missed the draft or whatever. I'm going to just do this really quick while I'm watching the fucking commercial during the game. Okay, you want to scratch an itch because you're a fucking weirdo like that? No problem. But to then do it so often, be proud of yourself enough to actually create and use the time and resources.
And then post it. And then post it so everyone can see it.
Bananas beyond fucking recognition, bro.
These motherfuckers probably printed it out and they fucking stuck that shit on their fridge so mommy and daddy could be proud of them. Because
there's a real possibility, bro, that there's people out there who have printed comments that have got like printed tweets that got like 1,000 likes and like that was like the highlight of their year. They printed it and put it on the fucking fridge, bro. I definitely see that happening.
Oh yeah. I was hoping we'd be one of those with the moron bracket, but.
Oh, and by the way, the Kayvon whatever guy is the one who ended up winning the thing.
Evan guy, yeah, he says
Kayvon Ojulari.
Yeah.
He ended up winning the thing.
Okay, that's good. I think
the only backlash to that was some people were saying that they think that's a troll account, and they're pretty sure that it was just him. Like that particular person just does it to troll. Versus, I forget who he was going against is an actual person who's just an even bigger Daniel Jones fan than
Chuck
everybody
Knox.
on the show. He's got like Daniel Jones in every jersey.
Hey, listen, I'm just glad we got nominated.
Yeah, but, it was fun. And we made it out of the first round.
I'm just happy to be here.
I did, right. I'm glad we just wasn't the main moron. All right, guys, let's take a quick commercial break. We'll get into the picks. We'll be right back on the Big Blue Offensive Podcast. All right, we're back on the BBO NYG podcast. I'm Mike. That's Jules. That's John. It's pick time. The very last week of the season.
Because we'll do some playoffs for sure.
Jules, this is the week I don't usually bet on this.
Really?
Week 18 is I always get fucked week 18, but I always do good in the playoffs. So I'm gonna stay away from like actual gambling this week. But
no, you're not. I don't believe that.
I mean, listen, if I'm drinking come Saturday night. Because there's 2 games.
I might Saturday night calls, nothing's really going on. It's fucking January. Like, you ain't going out. There's no big plans. New Year's just the week before, dude.
I'm trying to be good in the new year. This is what my New Year's resolution.
Oh, okay.
You use a specific app?
I use all the apps, John. All the apps. They all got my routing number, John.
Oh, Jesus.
So here we go. The first game's a Saturday night. It's 4:30 at Baltimore. They're playing hot. Pittsburgh is -3.5 against Baltimore because Baltimore's just going to rest guys, right? They got nothing to play for.
They got nothing to play for, man. The only thing I can see there, though, and this is why I kind of like the Ravens, is just because they already have the number 1 seed wrapped, so they got a week. You don't want to give your team 2 weeks off. Lamar might only play maybe a first half or something like that, but that might be enough. And, I don't know about these defensive players and other players and what they're going to do. I would honestly just see a guy like maybe Lamar kind of sitting out, maybe a couple other key veteran guys. Other than that, you're going to kind of play your team because you don't want to give these dudes 2 weeks off. There's already a rumor, John, you'll like this. There's already a rumor going around that I haven't confirmed that I didn't have time to do it, that OBJ rented a yacht called like the Baltimore something for that week. I don't know how true it is.
I hope that's true.
That actually started.
Because I will bet everything I own that they lose in the fucking first playoff game.
Bro, and it is true. Oh my God, hammer the Ravens to lose in the playoffs hard.
That was
we see it. On a serious note, we see it every year. Teams who get the bye rarely come out swinging firing off on all cylinders.
Yep. Yeah,
usually they take a quarter or two to kind of get their legs back under them from having the week off. and you see it during the season. Fucking, we have a bye week, 12 out of fucking 18 weeks. There's teams coming off of buys, and you see it all the time. So if I was the Ravens, I'm not a Ravens fan. I don't give a fuck if they win or lose. Frankly, I'd rather the Steelers win and beat them in the playoffs. At least they're a kind of family, the Rooneys and the Maras. But you have them take off for this week and watch their heated fucking rival celebrate on their field that they're not going to the playoffs, and then have a week off and then go play a team that just won a playoff game, maybe even the Pittsburgh. I mean, I know Harbaugh's not stupid enough to fucking take his foot off the gas like that. I think that they do play, and maybe
the Ravens win
quarter. What happened?
I can see the Ravens winning that game.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
They can get out to like a fucking 27 fucking 10 lead, and then start resting starters.
I mean, in all honesty though, Mike, I wouldn't bet it though.
No,
that'd be definitely a game I'm not fucking with. There's other games on deck that I will get to that I'll be like, definitely.
You know what? I'm gonna make that my key bet right out of the gate. Ravens.
Ooh.
Ravens. Okay. All right.
I'm signing off now because I haven't.
Ravens. It is. Oh, next game, the Saturday night game, 8:15. Houston and Indy at Indy. It's just basically a pick. That's gonna be a wild game, man.
That's gonna be a fun one.
I want Houston to win, so I'm gonna take Houston for the fuck of it,
I think I'm all in on Houston as well, dude. I like them in this game. I know Gardner Minshew's been playing good, but CJ Stroud's healthy. If this kid, I think they want the kid in the playoffs. I don't know. He could win the division in his first year. I mean, well, there's a couple of things that have to happen, but he can. Technically, he can. He beats Indianapolis and Jacksonville loses. They win the division. That's that big on Saturday.
That's my key bet.
I'm thinking. Damn, you guys are coming out firing up.
This is going to sound crazy. The Giants won the Super Bowl in Arizona and in Indianapolis, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. It was Indianapolis. The other one,
I couldn't think of it, and it was bothering me.
Yep. It's when Bradshaw.
For that reason, I choose Colts.
But I do like the Texans, though. I do. I have to admit. So you guys making these key bets, I'm with it so far.
All right. Well, Sunday now, 1:00 games. Saints at the Saints. They're -3.5 against Atlanta. All day on the Saints. Fuck Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, Saints got a shot at winning the division there. At home, you can't fuck that up.
I'm going Saints here too.
Saints it is. All right, next game at Tennessee. Jacksonville is favored by 4.5. I guess Lawrence is probably going to play.
Well, he's going to have to.
Yeah.
If they fuck that up and lose that game, and they let fucking either the Colts or possibly even fucking Houston win the division, whoa!
I think that's going to happen, Jules. I actually like Tennessee, man, to play spoiler in Tennessee. Yeah, I'm gonna throw it. I'm gonna go with Tennessee.
Well, there was a lot of Vrabel talk over the week, so how he maybe doesn't get along with the GM, and if he rallies that team to get one in for him, Jacksonville's in for fucking some trouble.
Yeah,
I'll take the points. What are we getting? 5.5?
4.5.
Ooh, all right, 4.5. All right. I guess I can fuck with that.
Vrabel could get out of that contract. Could be a future New York Giant head coach. Just saying. All right, next game at Detroit. Detroit's -3.5 against Minnesota. Minnesota sucks with that guy fucking Mullins. He is the worst quarterback in the league.
He beat the Giants 2 years ago.
I don't give a fuck. That's not saying much. Take Detroit and throw all your money on that. You know what? I'm back. I'm betting this weekend. I'm gonna fucking take the Lions. I'm gonna fucking take Tennessee. I'm taking Houston. Like, I'm back. I'm definitely gambling.
I was gonna say before, just send us a picture an hour of your account that you haven't made any bets tonight, but we didn't even make it half an hour.
I honestly think Campbell's gonna have those boys fucking pumped and pissed off after the way they got hosed against fucking the Cowboys, dude. That might have been one of the worst play calls I've seen in ever. Not to mention how we've said it so many times on this show alone, how we get fucked when we're in Dallas with the play calls. You know, those offsides on that field goal a couple of seasons ago and all that bullshit. Oh, now that it's on a national scale and that team did everything correctly, oh, it's a thing now. Oh, we're gonna punish that refereeing crew, and they cannot ref any games this coming playoff. That's their punishment for that. That's what the NFL did to them.
That's
so just to put that into perspective, because I mean, I went into the whole thing with this thing. Campbell told the referees before the game that they might have this tackle eligible play if it comes up and they need it for a 2-point conversion. They're going to run this play. The tackle will come in and it'll check in. Then there's actual footage that you can see online now of Goff telling the guy to make sure he goes and tells the ref. And he's like, and you can see him saying, I did already. And Goff's like, I don't care. Go do it again. So he literally
get the fuck out of here.
Dude. And you see the referee going like this, nodding his head. And they fucking called it a illegal receiver, bro.
Let me ask you guys. Can I ask you guys a question?
That shit is a fucking joke. Right?
Let me ask you guys a question. When that happened, because it was a bunch of timeouts, there were full starts with that 2-point conversion.
Yeah, there was penalties
after they backed up to the 7-yard line. Why didn't Campbell just kick the extra fucking point? Go into overtime. Why is he gambling so much?
Because he said that
ankles, bro. Knees and ankles.
He said he told his team they were going to go down the field, they were going to score, and then they were going to turn around and go for the win. And that's what we're going to do. And his team
not at the 7-yard line.
And
not at the 7.
They did what he said he was going to do. So he said, fuck it.
Yeah, but after that, after the call, Jules, you got to kick that extra point. Once it goes back to the 7, what are you, nuts?
Yeah, I know.
Go into overtime. Like that was fucking stupid.
Yeah, that was just, he let the emotions get the better of him in that, for sure. You know what I mean?
It's like going for you're at like first, at goal line from the fucking like 7 yard. That's ridiculous.
Here's a question.
10 yards.
Here's a question. The Lions have anything to play for?
They would need a lot of help. So basically, if they were to win and Washington beat Dallas and we beat the Eagles, they could move into the number 2 spot. But there's a lot of ifs there.
Yeah, there's not a lot for them to play for.
But they play first.
They play at one, right? So they gotta play.
Maybe he said, "Fuck it, I don't really have anything to gain by needing to make sure we win this game and go to overtime and play it straight. But what I do have to gain is to reinvigorate my locker room the same way that Brian Daboll did in Week 1 last year, where I said we're going to go down the field, we're going to score, and we're going to fucking take the game, and then we go down the field, and just because of whatever bullshit." It's 4th and 7. You know what? Fuck it. I still believe in you guys. Go out there and fucking win the game. Right before the playoffs, that's a pretty gangster move in my book.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like Detroit. I'm going to hold off. I'm not going to be as brazen as you guys were with the key picks, but that I'm leaning towards that as a key pick. That's kind of mine.
All right. Detroit it is. And, just for you guys, don't go for a 2-point conversion at the 50-yard line. All right, next game at New England. They're minus 2.5 against the Jets.
Dude,
ill.
Don't care.
I know. I'm rooting for New England. Go ahead, win. Beat them.
Yeah, I'm definitely rooting for New England to win.
I mean, you got to – I'm going for New England. I can't take the Jets.
It's more fun to root against the Jets than it is to root for them.
Fucking hilarious. All right, next game. I told you last week that the Saints was going to rip Tampa Bay a new asshole. Tampa Bay is actually minus 5.5 against Carolina in Carolina this week. All my money's going on Tampa. I'm back, baby. I love Tampa this week, actually. Because they're such a way better team than Carolina. It's like not even close. And Carolina is just they're gonna lose bad for the last game.
I mean, yeah, Tampa's got to win that to have a shot at the playoffs. So yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't.
No doubt about it. All right, moving on. Next game at Cincinnati. They're minus 5.5 against Cleveland because Cleveland is just they're resting everybody.
Yeah, this is a weird game. That's the one game that means nothing for either team. So I don't even know what to do there.
But you know what? Cincy got backups like the guy Browning. He's actually playing. He's playing hard. So you gotta.
Yeah, but they might not play Chase because Chase is a little banged up. T. Higgins might not play. I don't know if they're gonna run Joe Mixon.
Oh, yeah.
So he's gonna have all his backups in there. Cleveland's definitely not running Ford. Who knows if Flacco's playing? I don't know. This game sucks that we even have to pick it.
I know. I guess take the home team, right?
Yes. I mean, I almost want to take Cleveland.
And nice your uniform.
Touchdown. I think you're the tiebreaker. I kind of like Cleveland with the points.
Oh no, I said Bengals.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, it don't matter.
Really don't. Yeah, don't bet that game. All right, yeah, Seattle, 4:00 games time. Seattle's in Arizona. Seattle's favored by 2.5.
I'm going Cardinals here.
I don't trust them. They beat the Eagles, but the Eagles are shit. Yeah, see, you know what, John? You're right. Seattle's fucking. I don't trust them either, but Seattle usually has Arizona's number. It's in Arizona, but Seattle always has Arizona's number, right?
Do they though?
I don't know. I can't say. Those are as West Coast of teams as there is in the league. I have no idea.
9-8. Yeah, I mean the Rams are. I mean, technically, it's Seattle and Green Bay for that last playoff spot in the NFC. So they way more. I got to go Seattle here. I think they could pull this out. I don't like them. I don't trust them, and I know Kyler Murray's trying to keep his job, so they keep that one in mind.
Yeah,
you know what just spoke to me as you were talking, like a spirit came behind my head and said, "This is going to be the weekend of huge upsets amongst rivals."
Oh, like shit!
The underdogs beating the fucking team going to try to make the playoffs or whatever the case.
That's it. So
yeah,
I think it's gonna be like
Giants are gonna be Philly and Washington's gonna be the Cowboys, and the fucking Lions are gonna win, so they could be like, "Fuck you guys, we deserve this."
Yeah, I don't know how many what teams it's gonna be, but my prediction, and when we're sitting here next week, is that 4 different underdog teams like that have nothing to play for beat their rivals to affect them in some negative way for the playoffs. That's my prediction.
John, this week 18 is always like something like that where teams like you always like, oh, they have to win because they win, they go to the playoffs. There was a bet that we all had in our war room back in the day when Minnesota played Arizona. And Minnesota had Randy Moss, Culpepper. They had a squad. All they had to do was beat a shitty Arizona team with a backup quarterback called Cade McNown. And then all of a sudden, they were winning. Minnesota was winning. It came down to the last drive. Cade McNown gets the hike back. He fumbles the ball. We all started laughing like, "Ha, he fumbled." My man picked the ball up, ran around like a defender, pointed in the end zone, and threw a fucking dart. And we all were like, "What the fuck?" So yeah, it doesn't matter.
I need to fucking Google that play. That sounds awesome.
I forgot that was week 18.
It was one of those games.
I showed up a little bit late to that day. And it was like, I got there like 1:30, 1:45. And they're like, "It's too late for you." And I'm like, "Too late for me for what?" They're like, "We've got the bet that's going to lock it down. We all put so much money on this shit." Bro, it's a lock. And you missed a couple of 1:00 games that we have. So I'm sitting there, I'm trying to catch up, do other shit. And I'm like, "Okay, cool." And then to see this unfold.
It was devastating. It was a heartbreak. That's why just because the team has to win this week doesn't mean they're gonna. So
yeah, all those years later, I still crack up the same way.
Well, we're taking Seattle. So Seattle it is. Fuck Arizona. All right, next game at Green Bay. Green Bay, yeah. They made me good money last week beating Minnesota. They got my money back, so I was down. Green Bay is -3.5 against the Bears.
And here's what you were saying, John. I mean, if you're talking about like an upset thing, that this is one of the ones that could be. The Bears don't care anymore. They locked up the number 1 pick via fucking Carolina.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, they still got another top 10 pick. What do they care?
If I'm the Bears, I'm going for the win here for sure.
Yeah.
No question about it. But I don't know. I think something's telling me that it's going to be a good game and it's going to get a young team fired up for, the last game of the season. And, the Packers find a way to like get a last-minute field goal and end up winning. But that means that I picked the Bears to keep it close.
Jules, I'm going Green Bay.
Yeah, I mean they won 5 out of the last 7. Green Bay. You take away that fucking miracle on Monday with Tommy Cutlets and fucking all that other shit. Those dudes have 1 loss over the last 7. I mean they've been playing good ball, and I didn't expect them to show up like they did against Minnesota. They whooped Minnesota's ass.
Yeah,
I kind of like the Packers, but I think like John's right though. I think it's gonna be tight, man. I think it's gonna be a close game. I don't see this being any kind of a blowout. It's 3.5.
Yeah, 3. And I hate that.
I would totally tease that down, but
yeah, gotta go Green Bay though. They're home.
Yeah, you gotta go home.
Tease that down.
Ooh, yeah, I would take it to 2.5 so that field goal I can win on it.
For some reason, I feel like you've said that in other situations involving penis.
Tease that thing down.
Put it down. Put it away. All right, next game. The Giants are getting 5.5 points.
Isn't that ridiculous?
I mean,
fucking so little. Man. Like how is such a little spread? Like this bullshit.
I mean, we're all taking the Giants. It's nothing new here.
I mean, like I don't even know why we're going to discuss that. We already did.
All right, next game, San Fran. They're minus 3.5 against the Rams.
And honestly, neither team has anything to play for. Neither team has anything to play for. But the whole San Francisco thing comes into play because they got the number 1 seed locked. So do they really want to rest guys for 2 weeks? We're going to have to wait and see. No. I mean, the Eagles did it last year to us.
It did.
I mean, it doesn't always backfire.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying it does. It's a lock. I'm just saying it's the probabilities, are shockingly in the wrong direction for the favorite.
I mean, listen, if we have a rematch of a couple of Super Bowls ago where it's the 49ers against the fucking Ravens in the Super Bowl, people might start to say that the way that they restructured this playoff and having just one team have a bye as opposed to 2 is the way to go, because last year, both number 1 seeds made it in the first year that they did it like that.
Yeah, right.
So it's going to be interesting. So like this is a new year to kind of figure that out. It might have just been a lot of just fluky things because 2 teams got byes. So, you would always see one of those 2 teams lose. So it just felt like having that week off always screwed a team. Who knows? We will definitely see this year for sure.
Well, also, you could also look at it from this point. There's a lot of seasons where the top 2 teams in the conference were locked in from like week 15 that they were 14 and fucking 0 or 13 and 1 or whatever it was, where they had a couple of games where they didn't have to play, and then they both got byes, and then that's instead now there's only one bye, so all the top teams are still competing, have a reason to play games hard all the way down to the end of the season. So you're going to see less of a drop off in between competitive football.
No, it's good though.
Yeah, no, of course, yeah. You want to see teams playing at their best.
Okay, so who are we taking? I don't know.
I guess the home team,
San Fran.
Yeah,
Darnold. We got to root for Sam Darnold.
I know a lot of people are loading up on the Rams on this one. I don't know, man. I really don't know what it's going to be interesting to see.
I actually think Rams. Now that I'm looking at it, I can see the Rams winning.
Jules.
Rams. I did a stupid bet for them. All right, I picked them to win the Super Bowl. So
all right,
I didn't throw much on it.
Need to win this one.
All right. Next game, Vegas. They're minus 2.5 against Denver.
Isn't that another meaningless game? Like an absolute meaningless game?
I'm rooting for Pierce, baby. Give me Vegas all day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine. Do it.
That's it. All right, next game. At Chargers, they're minus 1.5 against Kansas City. Kansas City's resting guys, so.
Yeah, especially that they don't have a bye for the first time in like 5 years. So fuck that.
I could see Kansas City actually winning though.
They might. I could still see like the back up and fucking Kelsey's high-fiving them on the sideline and shit, and Taylor Swift is there.
I still see KC.
Swifty.
And the Chargers are an awful team.
Yeah. Let's wrap on Kansas City. All right, next game, the last 4:00 game. Dallas, they're minus 13.5 against Washington.
Oh.
Oof.
No. And you see, and that just fucking proves. Because Washington's what? They got 4 wins on the season?
Yes.
And we have 5? Mm-hmm. 1 win difference, and we beat them twice, but 1 win difference, and they're going against the same caliber team, and basically they're a 13.5 point underdog, and we're a 5.5 underdog. That's the difference between a team that just fucking tanks and a team that fucking plays football every week. Which side of the fucking the thing do you want to be on there? That's the side of the side.
Well, Washington.
I don't think Dallas is probably going to annihilate them, but it's in Washington. I don't know.
It is in Washington. That's it's a division of game. I don't know if Dallas actually blows them out or not.
I mean, this is the only thing I have to say to this.
They probably do.
If Washington have been playing scrappy a little, kind of like the Giants have, I would say, you know what? They're going to pull one of those games. Bro, they've lost literally fucking 7 straight.
Yeah.
7 straight. They've lost 9 out of the last 10.
Once they traded away their guys, once they traded away Chase,
they took away the heart of the team.
Yeah, once they got rid of guys like that.
For that reason, I got to go Cowboys here.
Yeah, I mean, that's just
you gutted your team. You told them we're never going to be good enough. Every single player in here is going to be gone before we win anything.
Just keep an eye out on the weather because they're saying snow, rain, Saturday into Sunday, so that could have an impact.
That could always factor. That's fair. And the last one I'm picking last here, so
the very last game, Buffalo is in Miami. Buffalo's favored by 2.5. Jules likes Buffalo. John, who do you like? You like Miami, John? I like Miami, John.
I don't know. Something's telling me Buffalo.
Buffalo?
Yeah. Is this for the division?
This is for everything. This is for the division, the number 2 seed, and possibly Buffalo could get knocked out of the playoffs for the loss. Is that things to happen? They would need a couple things to happen.
Oh my god!
Is that
talk about fucking some drama? Jesus Christ! Yeah, Buffalo.
Yeah, and you could keep bet that bitch.
That's a fucking wild amount of shit, bro. See, there you go. That's what happens when you have one team in the playoffs or one team taking a fucking a bye. Only one team taking a bye, and there's an extra 2 teams in the.
I mean, there's a lot more. That's why they say. That's why they bumped that game to that 8 o'clock spot because that game's for everything.
God damn it, bro. The NFL knows how to fucking sell itself, man. NFL might be one of the best businesses humankind has ever seen as far as like making it itself a relevant, just juggernaut fucking daily and really finding ways to perfect itself. Like it's chiseling out its own fucking statue of David. God bless.
And we have to pick a community key bet still?
Yes.
You do?
Oh, yeah. Well, because
let's go the fucking Giants, boys. It's the last game of the season. What do we have to lose?
Or Detroit.
Back our boys one last time.
We did. We took them.
Yeah, we did take it.
So we're going to keep that. Take both testicles out when you show them.
Oh.
No?
I don't know.
It's them or the Lions, I would say.
I think that's what I was looking at. I was looking at the Lions.
Dan Campbell, man. The guy eats 12 ostrich eggs a day.
I'll remember.
Nick goes make love to his wife and tell him how badly he's gonna beat the team.
I know. I can't. Yeah, Minnesota's whack. They're so whack. That's my big money bet. That's where I'm throwing a lot of money on.
Where on Detroit?
Detroit, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially if they get to play first and knowing. I mean, look, the likelihood of both teams losing to like Washington and fucking Giants winning is pretty fucking small. Although, if Detroit does win, that might be a cool bet to just fucking throw on the money line for a couple of bucks because it won't, you'll get a nice return on it if it did happen.
Very true.
So that's it. Football is about to be over for its regular season as we wrap up 2023 in 2024. We pointed out the good games to watch. We pointed out some other ones to watch, and hopefully the Giants could just fucking step up and beat the fucking Eagles and fuck them out of that 2 seed. Because that would be the fucking best thing I could see.
Bro, that would be the best thing ever. And then I know we're wrapping up, but how nice would it be to go into 2024 healthy and without that monkey on your back of never winning in Philly? Yep. That game becomes so much less embarrassing if you can go in there saying, like, last time we beat you, which wasn't a big deal, but we beat you. And we're not – like, bro, when they were talking on the broadcast when they were playing the Cowboys, we haven't beat the Cowboys at home in like 10 years or whatever the fucking.
Yeah, Dak's like undefeated or something.
Yeah, it was like I felt like a fucking redheaded just raped stepchild.
Yeah,
and fucking how nice would it be to go in and just go there, look a little more eye to eye than just being the fucking girl with a red ass.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I hate that shit. And fucking Giants not be fucking getting embarrassed like this every fucking year.
And then we might not have a Monday night game, but I think this national title game would be a fun one to watch. There's definitely some fun. There's definitely some players that'll be playing on Sunday, and a couple of them might end up on the Giants. So it's definitely worth a watch on Monday night for the national chip just to see who actually wins that. And then we'll be back. We'll be back to wrap up the last week of football and start talking playoffs.
Playoffs?
Giants on
Don't talk about playoffs.
Let's see how we finish the season.
Playoffs?
So that we'll see you guys next week. Be safe. Peace.
Go Giants.